Perfect. Perfect. Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, Dirty Fanatics United is back tonight on a Monday night at 9 o'clock. Different time slot, but a lot to talk about. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about the Falcons versus the Chargers matchup. Chat, go crazy, go stupid, because we're going to answer every single one of your questions. Falcon fans, this is DFU episode 113. Cody, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Oh, not bad. Well, not great. I would say after Sunday's performance, that kind of sets the tone for the weekend. Let me tell you, today sucked. Getting an answer, it's like we were talking before the show, boys. I feel like Coach, Raheem Morris having to stand up at the podium and explain the bullshit that we had to watch Sunday. So, but I mean, other than that, man, I would say, God's good. We're here. I'm alive. And sometimes it hurts. But we're here. Yeah.
Cody, I'm not ignoring you, brother. I'm just trying to get the podcast sent out to the group chat. But I hear you 100%, brother. Today was definitely not a day. If you work at a place where other fans are around, different teams as well, because you'll have people in hard hats with Saints logos, Green Bay Packers. Chief fans all over the board asking you Sunday, what happened? What happened to the Falcons, dude? Kirk Cousins was throwing for 500 yards 3 weeks ago. Now we're not even throwing a touchdown. Robert, we're going to dive into it. But, Robert, what's going on, man? How you doing? We didn't go live last night, obviously, because of the outcome of the game. High tensions after the game. Robert, what's going on, man? How we?
Just a long, grueling 13-hour Monday, which is not a good recipe for happiness after the travesty that we had to suffer through yesterday. But any moment spent on the upside of the dirt while you're still breathing, that's a good day.
Absolutely, 100%. Philip, a.k.a. Mr. Avis, what's going on, man? We chat a lot, being blood brothers, as it is. I'm your favorite brother, so you text me all the time. You can go ahead and say it on the podcast. Philip, what's going on, man? How you feeling, man? I know the Falcons are on a 3 losing streak right now. We're diehard Falcon fans, so it hurts to talk about. But we're going to talk about it here today on the channel because we bleed red and black. Philip, what's going on, man? How we feeling?
Disappointing, man. I don't know, man. Mondays just don't fit. The past 3-4 weeks ain't hit right, bro. You know what I mean? This ain't the same team, or really, this ain't the same offense, quarterback. It ain't been the same anything I've seen at the beginning of this season. So it's kind of disappointing, I'll be honest.
It's very disappointing because the Falcons at one point were sitting at 6-3, 3-game advantage in the NFC South. Reporters are going crazy saying the Falcons will make the playoffs. They have an 89% chance of making a playoff spot. They will win the NFC South outstandingly. And then the Falcons, half a game up now in the NFC South, still above 500, which is a plus that you could give to Raheem Morris because you are above 500 now, 12 weeks or 13 weeks into the season. But when you have such a great performance from your defense, such a significant step up that these players did after this bye week, this was the growth that we talked about here on the channel about what this team could be after the bye week. And the defense came out and showed a 5-sack game, their best performance all on the board this season yet after the bye week. They woke up. Offense falls asleep. We're going to talk about it here on the podcast. Before we do, Abno is in the chat. Falcon fans, hit the chat. Let me know how you feel about the Chargers versus Falcons. Don't be shy. We ain't going to judge you. Hit the comment section. Let us know how you feel. Time to talk some Falcon football, and it's not good either. Didn't know we still had Desmond Ridder. 4 interceptions. What the fuck, man? All that money for what? we have a specific topic for that specific comment, brother, and that is coming to you right now. Kirk Cousins' performance yesterday. We'll pass this around the table. I'll give my quick spew on it, and then we'll let Cody have it, go down to Philip, and then Mr. Robert. Kirk Cousins, man. What happened, dude? You came off of a bad game in Denver, which is players have bad games. Let's be legit. It's the NFL. Players have bad games. Your bad game was the Denver game against the Broncos. Then you come out, you have a bye week, you have a whole week and a weekend, and technically a whole nother week to recover, get to where you need to be at in the season, mentally, physically, and you just simply don't. You come out and you throw 4 interceptions. The offense showed they were moving the ball the first drive. Yet again, a costly penalty keeps you out of the end zone. You kick a field goal there. You missed that field goal. That's a big part of this segment too today. Koo. Not even Koo, but maybe Raheem. If Koo is hurt, why is Raheem on the field? Let's be for real. If Koo is hurt, why is he on the field? Let's be legit right now, because if you just went out and signed a player, there's a legitimate reason why you signed that kicker. It wasn't just because. If Koo is hurt, why is he on the field? That's a segment for something else. But Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions on the day, almost looked like he was pointing out his receivers as he threw the ball. Only quarterback to not throw over 32 miles per hour week 13. Is the Achilles an issue? Is the elbow, is the shoulder the issue that was on the injury list this week? What is going on in Atlanta at the quarterback position? And this is a question that is going around the whole entire league, not only Falcon fans, but everybody that watches the NFL. Kirk Cousins has digressed in the past, or degressed in the past, month? Kirk Cousins is a week away from not throwing a touchdown pass for an entire month, Falcon fans. Not 2 games, an entire month. That's 4 games, people. 4 games. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is a terrible quarterback, because Kirk Cousins has had this team flying. Kirk Cousins is the same guy that I said would take the Falcons to the playoffs and win the NFC South. Kirk Cousins is the same guy in this offensive scheme that threw for 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns the next week, 300 yards consecutive, 3 games in a row. So we've seen what Kirk Cousins can do, but my question is, what happened? Is Kirk Cousins injured? Is there something that the Falcon fans do not know? Is Kirk Cousins not simply mentally into the game right now? Because we have a big matchup next week, guys. Minnesota Vikings, you're heading into a place that has a 9-2 record right now, a place that you left, Kirk, for more money and a new start. So when Kirk Cousins walks in this building Sunday, these Viking fans that are in their seats, and they are loud, we all know it, are against Kirk Cousins as he walks in this building, because, hey, we can do this with a Sam Darnold. We're 9-2 with a Sam Darnold. We don't need Kirk Cousins. And he's walking into that Sunday after coming off of his worst game of the season. So my question is, another question for you guys as we rotate this on the panel, is Kirk Cousins going to be mentally prepared for that matchup in Minnesota? Cody, I'll pass it to you, brother. We'll go take your stance on what Kirk did yesterday, the previews, how you feel about it, because I'm letting Falcon fans know right now, whoever suits up at quarterback, whether that's Kirk Cousins, whether that's Michael Penix, whether they go and sign a guy and he starts at quarterback, this guy's going to rep him. But I am going to give my 100% feelings or my thoughts about the situation, and I'm just keeping it a buck with you. Kirk Cousins has played bad football the past 3 weeks, and it must improve or the Falcons will not make the playoffs. Cody, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. Sunday was atrocious by Kirk Cousins. I know he looked bad in Denver, but so did the whole team. Really, you have to go back to
the whole team. The defense digressed. Running game wasn't there. It was bad. It was just
bad all around for So I kind of washed that one for him because the team sucked that week. Now you go back and you look at the Saints game. Wasn't great, wasn't awful. He played so. Yeah, he didn't have touchdowns, but we were in that game. But then you look at what he did to Dallas. I mean, he absolutely carved Dallas up. He made Dallas look bad.
Tampa Bay.
I mean,
New Orleans Saints the first matchup.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't get touchdowns, but we moved the ball. We did move the ball.
Well, and that's my thing with Kirk. Like, I'm riding with Kirk. I'm not writing him off yet. I'm not going to say bench him. Now, he probably should have been benched Sunday in the fourth quarter after the third interception. He probably needed to be sat.
Well, see, here's the thing, Cody. But here's the thing. Even if all right, so we didn't bench him, right?
Right.
Your defense played so well Sunday. They gave you the chance to even go back out and get the touchdown to win the game, and you throw another interception after Drake London, of course, drops the first down. I mean, you can't harp. I mean, okay, if I don't harp on Drake London dropping the pass, I look like a fair weather fan on harping on Kirk. So I will harp on the fact that Drake London dropped that pass. He did have a lot of targets Sunday. His only mess up was that one target. So I can't harp on Drake too bad because Drake did perform pretty well other than the drop pass there at the end of the game.
Well, and I'm not even going to give Drake so much. I'm not really going to fault Drake for that. You know, it's going to happen. He played great. You know, he played really good Sunday. Drake London was not the problem. Yes, he dropped that ball, but we'll get to another player that I really feel like, other than Kirk Cousins, that really has got to step up, or otherwise he needs to be gone. But that's for another segment here later. But Kirk, I mean, it's got to get better. It just does. Now, that is the thing that we got to remember. Yes, his shoulder was hurt, quote unquote hurt. I don't think that played much into it, but this is what I think is going on with Kirk right now. You have to remember he's coming off that Achilles. You know, he's a year removed from football. He's 13 weeks into it. Yes, that is a long time, to kind of get back into football shape and all that stuff.
It's all new, Cody. It is all new. It's a new offensive scheme.
Absolutely.
It's new receivers, and let's remember, I don't think this had anything to do with it, but let's remember Dahlman's first game back.
And I think our offensive line played great Sunday. I mean, there were some times where you're like, well, that wasn't fantastic, but overall, I think the offensive line looked good.
No sacks.
But the thing with Kirk, what I'm not wondering is if it's not coming down to award nutrition at this point. Again, he's a year removed from his Achilles injury. He has not played a full season in over a year, and again, so it's just like, no excuses. By no means am I giving him a pass. Right. Like this loss is, 70. I'm giving Kirk 75% of the responsibility on this. The other part of that is Kyle Pitts. And again, we'll get to that later. I think Robert's got some feelings on this too, as much as all of us do. But I think right now Kirk Cousins is hurting more so. Football's a tough game, guys. I'm sure we've all played it. We've all put on helmet and pads, and you get later on into your weeks, and your body doesn't feel as good as it used to when so it's one of those things. I think it's kind of a war nutrition, but they have but that's not an excuse at this point. You've got to fight through that stuff. And this Minnesota game is really going to tell us a lot, because if he can't get up and be ready to go against a former team and play like the superstar that we know he can be, there's something going on. But my thing is you just it's hard. Believe me, I sat in the stands until there was no time left on the clock, and it was hard to watch because even though, but at the same time, on the same side of that coin, you have to think, man, he made some throws that gave us a chance to win, even with 4 interceptions. Now, I think a lot of the problem is we got back into the play action, and I think for Kirk,
dude, we still, even after the bye week, Cody, we still ran the pistol over 50% of the snaps Sunday. What is that Robinson not figured out, that Kirk is not a pistol quarterback?
Yeah, and I can't figure that either. I can't figure that out either. And the other thing I could not figure out was, I was glad to see them get back to play action, but a lot of that play action was under center. You have to take your eyes off the defense, and you've got to give the Chargers a little bit of credit, because I think what they were able to do is, Kirk takes his eyes off that. They were able to disguise a lot of that. Right. And then when he turns around, the defense looks different. And so now he made some pretty stupid decisions. The one in the back of the end zone made zero sense to me. As soon as he let that ball go, I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Cody, this is how he threw the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
I'm going to be honest, all day yesterday, there was no whiff behind the ball at all.
No.
No.
Even
Only
the ones
quarterback under 32 miles per hour. Real
There
quick,
was
guys,
no
I don't want to
miss.
cut you guys off, but I got a new comment here in the comment section. Joe Joseph, appreciate you commenting, brother. Appreciate you stopping through. He says, keep up the energy, us Falcons. We will rise up this year. After all, the tragically disappeared team that was doing good. I still have faith, always will. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. Joe, we love you, brother. Appreciate you coming in with the comment. This is what we do it for, man. Falcon fans, hit that like button, leave a comment. Cody, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but to kind of make a long story short here, I think Kirk has just got to find a way to find that next gear. I think even with the bye week, because I mean it's a good stretch, but at the same time Kirk is older. It takes him longer to recover and stuff like that. This Minnesota game is going to tell us a lot about Kirk Cousins. If he comes out flat and he comes out bad and it comes, like it did against the San Diego team, he may be cooked at this point. I can't say for sure, but
Cody, I put it to you like this. If Kirk Cousins throws more than 2 interceptions in Minnesota and he loses that game, Kirk Cousins will be benched. In my opinion.
I could see that
in
too.
My opinion.
He should, but I don't say it happened.
I would say, and that's not even just your opinion. Matt Ryan came out and said the same thing. If you guys remember, Matt said if he has a few more games like this, it very well may be it. And that's coming from our superstar quarterback, the guy here in Atlanta. So I mean, if Matt Ryan's seeing something, clearly I trust Matt's opinion more than anybody that I can think of, especially when it comes to the quarterback position here in Atlanta. But I guess we'll see in Minnesota what Kirk Cousins is and what he's got left in the tank, man.
Absolutely. Philip, before we get to you, I got an article I want to read, and then it's going straight to you about Kirk Cousins. Mina comes with the comment on Penix. Now, I don't necessarily agree with benching Kirk right this second. Obviously, Facebook people that are tuning in right now, you see my Michael Penix post, but that is just me saying, Falcons, don't forget you have a Michael Penix sitting on the bench that can and will step into that spot if needed. Mina Keems on Facebook here, NFL Live, says, you're throwing away a season where not only you have a chance to win the division, but you could potentially go further if you see something with the young quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. Philip, take it away. Mike is yours.
Where's it to start, bro? Like, there's no excuses for anything yesterday. You go into this game and you just look rattled. It's just a start. It's been like that since I'm gonna take it back to New Orleans game. Didn't look right then. Didn't look right the next week. Don't look right now, even after a bye week. I don't know, man. It's crazy. That's my guy, bro. I like Kirk, but we cannot. We can't continue to.
God
put
damn,
up with
Philip,
the same.
hold on. Philip, where did the fat head go?
Yeah, we're
Didn't you have a
That's my dog, bro. That's my cousin, bro.
I know. I had to mess with you because I seen it the other day sitting on the desk, so I had to check you.
It's still here, man. This still my cousin, bro. That's still my cousin.
I know it. And that's
Still
the
my
thing,
dog.
Philip.
It's
That's the
just
thing
tough
because
love. He can't continue to do what he's doing, man. You can't.
Absolutely.
I know I've said certain things about Penix, but if that's the thing, if you're going to continue playing like this, then why not give the guy a shot? You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
see,
not
Phil,
saying
that's
that you're
where
hating on Kirk. It's just facts. You know what I mean? What else are you gonna lose? You might throw people off by doing it, but I'm not saying go ahead and do that. That's if he continues to play like he's doing.
Well, see, Phil, that's where it is. That's where this Minnesota Viking game comes into factor, because not only is it a loss for you if you lose that game, but potentially you lose the NFC South with a Bucs win. You have officially lost the NFC South. You have officially lost four in a row if you lose to Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying.
You are on the edge of losing the NFC South.
And that's ourselves to blame.
But what I'm saying is we can blame, like Cody said, I'll give 75% of that blame to Kirk Cousins for yesterday.
Oh, and 100%. Yesterday was not everything on him, but majority of it was on Kirk and his decision making.
Well, you had a lot of. I mean, we got a certain specific topic for Zach Robinson today here on the show, and that's right after the Kirk Cousins. But I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for the Zach Robinson topic. Philip, you got anything else to say about Kirk?
Nothing really. Just get your shit together, man. I need me a 3 for 3. I done said it earlier for this weekend. I need one on Friday. I need one on Saturday, and I mainly need the Friday and Sunday.
We need that Friday night, man.
We need this Friday and this Sunday for me, man. I could care it really. I want them to win, the Dogs to win on Saturday, but I need my Friday and Saturday.
I need
Sunday,
them Falcons. Man. I
need my Sunday, bro.
Robert, Biff, I know you had a rough day yesterday after the game. We all diehard Falcon fans here on DFU. We talk about it in the chat. Rough performance from the guy that you went and paid $180 million for this offseason. A guy that's shown that he was, worth $180 million, throwing for 500 yards, 4 touchdowns in a game, 300 yards, 2 games consecutive. And now Kirk Cousins on a stretch to where he has 7 consecutive interceptions with 0 touchdowns to back that up. Robert, Kirk now leads the NFL in interceptions. Robert, talk to me, man. How we feeling about Kirk? I mean, where we at on this situation? How are we feeling?
We're pulling up Peyton Manning.
I honestly don't think that he's going to be mentally prepared for Minnesota. He's going back to his former team, and I've got a couple of close friends that are Viking fans, and they can attest that Viking fans basically treated Kirk the way that our fans treated Matt.
Yeah.
If it was that bad for him while he was on that side, what's it going to be like when it's a hostile environment for him?
That's what I'm saying, man. And they're all against him now. They're 9-2 this season. They're flying high right this moment.
Exactly. And I wouldn't go so far as to say I put 75% of the blame on Kirk for yesterday. I would say maybe about 60, and I give another 30% to the coordinator, and then other 10% to just miscellaneous stuff, whether it be running sloppy routes or whatever. And you guys know where I'm going with this in the next segment. It's like Philip said, he's got to get it together. And, we've all said that Penix is the future, and, we need to protect him. We need to, just let him learn, not throw him to the wolves. But if Kirk's going to continue on this trend, then the future's now.
Yeah.
The only way Kirk's going to get better is if he gets rested.
I agree 100% because you can't carry on this trend. It's not winnable football for the NFL if you carry this trend.
We don't need to pull a New Orleans Saints. We don't need to lose 7 straight.
7 in a row. Exactly.
We can't do that. We can't afford it.
No.
They can because they're straight hot ass. It doesn't matter. For us, we're sitting good at the moment. We can't afford to do it. We're actually, for once, in the lead and has actually held it majority of the season.
Because you were up 3 games at one point.
Together, I need this team that I seen from week. I'm gonna be honest. Even week 1 was sloppy, but you had things together still, though.
Yeah, you didn't lose bad week 1.
You just beat yourself. From there on out, you had good football.
And I think that's what makes this L so much worse because you had this game. Even into the last drive, you had this game. Even with giving up a pick 6, the only touchdown the Chargers scored that day, you had this game. Mateo in the chat said, if Kirk gets benched against Minnesota, it will be embarrassing, and we better hope Penix is truly ready. What's up, fellas? Still first place. I agree, Mateo. It would be a hostile environment to throw a rookie in. His debut starting, it would be.
He gets it done.
And that's the thing. That's the question. You don't know what is what. You don't really know yet until you see it in the action on the field. Mateo in the chat. Go ahead.
Well, but that's that's the thing about it though. About Minnesota and Kirk is you have to remember, guys. All of us, I'm sure have got that competitor in us, and
Absolutely.
Kirk has got that too. Kirk doesn't want to go home and be embarrassed. I guess not home, but he doesn't want to go back to Minnesota where he came from after leaving them and get embarrassed. And that's why I'm saying this Minnesota game is important for Kirk Cousins and us. Not only, if you lose this game, I think that's one of the last games that you can lose. I think, I really think the Falcons could go 4-2 and be all right. It's just you just have to see what he's got this Sunday. And if Kirk is the competitor that, Vikings fans say is, what we've seen him as, he is, and what other people have said that he is, it's going to tell us a lot. I mean, but guys, this is something as Falcon fans that we never have it easy. This is nothing new to us as fans. And it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I miss 2016 where it was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. As we're going to steamroll, whoever we play. And if we lose, we lose because we know we're going to bounce back next week. It's one of those things is it comes back. And again, I'm going to use a Dan Quinn-ism here. Iron sharpens iron, man. And this is where it shows the resolve of your team here is how you take, don't get me wrong. It's been 3 shitty weeks and it's been bad. But if this team can bounce back, which I still think that they can, I really do. I believe that this team we've seen it plenty of times. And if Kirk can get back to form, which I think he can too, I'm a big believer in Kirk. I said it from the start of the season that I believed in Kirk Cousins, and I still do. Man, it's one of those things. Let him catch fire at the right time. Let this team catch fire at the right time. Maybe we just need to let Kirk go through what Kirk's going through. But I have to say, I cannot sit through another week of what I sat through the last 2 weeks.
We can't, but we also have to think about them, bro. They're gonna want you. We know.
Yeah, they want it. They want it. They want it more than we do.
We know how he's feeling right now.
Yeah,
we gotta ride instead of getting our emotions and posting all this crap. We gotta ride behind him still. That's what's gonna help him get through this and get us going forward. We got to support them.
Yeah, I agree, Philip. Dave Farrell in the chat. This carries us into our next subject here. Dave Farrell says, must have creative plays. If you run, throw, you don't think the defense knows what you're doing? The difference from a rogue ritter and a solid team player in Cousins. Play calls matter. No quarterback will successful till a better play caller is in. Dave, we spoke about this earlier, man. I agree with you. There's no argument here for me in this comment. Or discussion, not argument, discussion. But like we said here on the podcast, you've been watching. If Kirk has another week that he had, Dave, could you agree if Kirk has another week that he had the past 2 weeks, that maybe it is time to see what the rookie has? Let me know in the chat, Dave. Mateo is in the – go ahead, Philip.
With that too, though.
But I agree 100%.
I agree 100%.
Zach Robinson has been trash. He has been trash.
But there was a good bit of plays yesterday that could have been made.
The plays may have been trash. The plays may have been trash, but the passes were terrible. We cannot deny that. Those 4 interceptions were not tip passes. We're not.
I mean, and we're going back
passes.
we're going to the ones like to Mooney. Some of them were just thrown over, like underthrown.
Bro, how about the pass? Let's be for real. How about the pass to Drake London where Mooney's over the top for the touchdown wide open? Where his defender leaves Mooney and goes to double team Drake, and Mooney is on the stretch.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. You mentioned it earlier. I watched tape today. I had the day off randomly. I don't know why, but anyway, that's beside the point. I rewatched tape, everything. You mentioned the elbow. It kind of makes sense in a way because there's nothing. There's no oomph on the ball. There's nothing there. It just looks like he's listed. Irritated.
It was listed on the injury list, but I didn't announce it on the podcast because they have to list everything. Any minor tweak they have to list. So I figured maybe it was just a little sore.
I seen it. I just didn't think about it. But now just rewatching it, you notice it. And while you're watching it the first time, you don't notice it because you're into it. Go back and you see small details, everything.
Well, even with some of the bad passes, though, I mean, there were a few times where Kirk, like that pass that Drake dropped at the end of the game, man. I mean, that was on a dime. Kirk absolutely.
Yeah. And Drake really should have caught that.
And again, I'm not going to fault Drake at all. But at the same time, even though he looked bad, there were times where you could still see where, he was absolutely putting the ball where it needed to be. Now, before we get too far, with the Kirk Cousins things, my big bone to pick is Kyle Pitts. Yeah. That 65-yard run by by Ray, That's a touchdown if Kyle Pitts turns his ass around and blocks. That's a touchdown, and that changes the entire game. Now, you should have still found a way to get in because at that point you're on like the 7-yard line, wherever we're at that point. But I am so sick and tired of watching Kyle Pitts quit on plays. I'm tired of watching him not give 100% every time. We were talking about it before we started the podcast. On that route he runs where he gets held up, he runs through that. That's pass interference, and that's a first down. It changes everything. And this is my big thing. Before I set Kirk Cousins down, before I did that, Kyle Pitts' ass on a contract year, if that is how you're going to play, it's unexcusable. And if that's how you're going to play, then I need to see Warner play more. And I need to see him catch balls. Because you know what? That's one thing I damn sure haven't seen is I haven't seen Warner quit on a play. I haven't seen him quit running routes. I haven't seen him try to run through players. I haven't seen him quit. I am so sick and tired of Kyle Pitts quitting and half-assing shit. You're supposed to be what Ladd McConkey was, what
Brock Bowers
was supposed to be. That's what you were supposed to be. Now, here's my thing. And this is the other thing I don't want to hear anymore about, well, you're not making plays for Kyle Pitts. So you're not scheming Kyle Pitts open and shit like that. I don't want to hear that anymore because Kyle Pitts is, if he's as good as he's supposed to be and was supposed to be this unicorn that, we're calling him, you should be good enough to get yourself open. You should be good enough to make all this stuff happen.
He did it his rookie season.
Exactly. And you shouldn't have to be, if you're the kind of player.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about it for a second. Kyle Pitts, rookie season, breakout year, 1,000 yards. Those injuries to his knee, were they more significant than what the Falcons and Arthur Smith led them to be? Because there was a surgery Falcon fans never even knew about.
I don't think that's it, man. I really don't. I've seen you. Look at Grady Jarrett. Look at what Grady Jarrett's gone through. Grady Jarrett has had, just as many surgeries and has been just as banged up. And every time I see Grady Jarrett, that dude, double team, single team, triple team, I don't care what
Grady
it is.
Jarrett's a dog.
You see Grady Jarrett fighting. He's a dog. He does not quit. I know what quit from injury looks like, and I know what quit from lazy looks like. There's a huge difference. And what Kyle Pitts is doing is it's lazy quit.
If he runs through that the pass to him, Cody, if he runs through that coverage, flag, you get a first down.
Easily.
Real quick, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic has checked in. Dirty Fanatics, stand up. What's good, fellas? Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Turn into a daily here for DFU Week. Shout out to you, man. Mateo in the chat says, I don't want to win a division by default because our rivals lose. I want to be a consistent, winning, dominant team. Yeah, absolutely. Tony Dunn is in the chat. Hit that subscribe button, brother. He says the defense did their job. Zach Robinson's play calling is sus at best. Real quick, Dave Farrell says yes if Kirk has another bad game like he had the past 2 weeks. Maybe it's time. He says use Penix as a heel situation with the Aints.
That's what I've said since the beginning of the year. Use both of them, man. You wouldn't know who's throwing, if he's going to throw the ball, the ball.
Then Dave brings up a good point here. He goes, but remember who is Penix's strong side blocker. That's absolutely blindside. That's absolutely right. Absolutely. You have Caleb McGarry. And this is where, if you have a situation where you have to bench Kirk Cousins and you bring Penix in, that's a big factor. And also what is another big factor is if the Falcons have to waste a first-round pick on a lineman because we can't block for Penix. I mean, that's a topic for later. We'll talk about that later. But Philip, we've said enough about Zach Robinson. He needs to get his shit together. He's not doing too good at what he does. Let's go to you. Let's go to Robert, and then we'll go to Philip. Robert, Kyle Pitts. This is a segment strictly for Kyle Pitts. How we feeling?
It's like Cody said. It's just like he's quit. He's not putting forth the effort. Like I said, if you are this player that you say that you are and that the media has hyped you up to be, we spent a 4th overall pick on this guy.
Sounds familiar.
And everybody's like, like I said, you're not making plays for him. No. When you're down at the goal line, we've seen Tony Gonzalez do it. We've seen Rob Gronkowski do it. And we've seen the biggest douchebag in football, Travis Kelce, do it. You are a tight end. You are brought in to make these plays in the end zone. You can get open. Put forth the effort.
Absolutely.
You're getting paid money. You're a paid professional. Start acting like it.
Preaching.
I agree 100% because
And that's my feeling.
Like Cody brought up earlier, you're on a contract season, dude. Like it does you like just come out and say you don't want to be in Atlanta, but don't do it on the field. Like if you don't want to be on the field, take a seat, bro. Like
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm going to use an analogy here. You guys are familiar with the band Kiss, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, back in 1979, the drummer Peter Criss was sabotaging, tempo just because he was upset.
Yeah.
Okay, now, as fans that are paying money for tickets to make the trip to the stadium, or if you are out of market and you are shelling out money for YouTube Sunday Ticket, you are depriving people of what they're paying for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like I said, if you don't want to be in Atlanta, let it be known. Pack your bags, get the hell out.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. And Robert's
get out of here.
Well, and Robert's
Get
100%
out
right.
of here.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
That's absolutely right. My kid has
And-
got
and
a Kyle Pitts jersey in his closet, man.
Same. Big
just
Kyle
like,
Pitts fan.
yeah.
Big Kyle Pitts fan. But I posted this morning on Facebook. Unpopular opinion, Kyle Pitts will not be re-signed if he continues to play the way he plays in Atlanta.
At this point, I don't even care if he gets re-signed. Fucking trade him. Right now, fucking trade him.
Tony Dunn in the chat. Defense did their job. Zach Robinson's play calling is sus. Kyle Pitts just needs to sit on the bench and guard the water cooler. Shit.
Yep.
Philip, before I read a couple more of these comments, your thoughts on the unicorn?
My Little Pony. Yeah.
God,
that's better. Yeah.
I wanted to throw that in there, but
Oh, boys. If we taking it back, we're looking at a guy that's on his contract year, looking to sign, just being lazy. Seems like he's just out of it, man. Don't want to be there. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Anybody at all?
Julio Jones.
Calvin Ridley.
I feel
going back a few years, Andre Bruce.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a similar situation we got going on. This is a guy that's just seems like he's uninterested. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's times where we're moving the ball and I don't even think of Kyle Pitts anymore. Just being honest. It's like I don't even know he's on our team anymore. Just being honest.
Yeah.
The past 3 games, I've seen Charlie Warner get the ball more than I have him.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, every time it was for progress and yards.
How about the catch by Charlie Warner where there's like 3 defenders on him and he's still bulldogging for a yard or 2?
And moved it for a first down.
Charlie Warner, man.
I mean, I'm not hating on Pitts. I love the guy too, man.
I am fucking.
Again, it's tough love there too, but it's just like everybody says, man.
It is tough love because I'll be the first one to say it, man. I've worn the number 8 jersey to every game that I went to last year because that's how confident I was in what Kyle Pitts could be for this team, but it just has not broken through.
Well, see, that's the ridiculous thing is that he is that guy, and we've seen that guy.
And that's even this situation where when you trade him, he'll go to a team and be that unicorn he was year 1, and that's what's gonna make me sick to my fucking stomach. If something like that.
But at this point, if you're hurting the team more than you're helping. At this point, it's just like, to Robert's point, if you don't want to be here, go, because I don't need it. We don't need it because as much as we, you can blame Kirk's play because it was bad. Like we've all said, it was bad. But when you're putting out that kind of horseshit effort, it affects the team because other guys see that and see that you're quitting.
Because maybe you could be the guy that's wide open while the rest is just still trying to break their route.
Well, do you remember the team? Do you remember the games, the back-to-back games? I want to say back-to-back games where Kirk Cousins breaks out not Kirk Cousins. Kyle Pitts breaks out on a street route for like 80 yards. Where is that? Yeah. Where did that go? Where did that Kyle Pitts go? Because that was the Kyle Pitts that was going to get a contract to stay in Atlanta. Yeah, because we talked about it here on the podcast.
He's just not the past few games. He done it against New Orleans. The past 2 weeks, he's just, besides the bye, the past 2 games, he's just, He's just another guy. I mean, he ain't no different than the people that's on the practice squad at this point.
Yeah.
Just being
Well,
honest.
and something I'm wondering, boys, is why is this always a continuing theme with our team? We get all these players that are supposed to be difference makers, and then 1 or
This
2 years
couple
into their
here.
careers, they
This
just
couple
don't want to be
here,
here anymore. I don't understand.
Everybody wants to be the superstar when you have all these talents across the board. But you know what? What stands out to me is and I'm going back to 2016 as I do all the time here on the podcast. But 2016, man, that team was loaded with power, loaded with stars, and they made it happen. They made it happen.
Wasn't
because nobody was selfish.
Top stars though at the time. You just had Julio.
Yeah, and
you had Mohamed Sanu, but he was also the second guy when he was in Cincinnati.
Then you had Austin Hooper, Taylor Gabriel, Coleman, Freeman.
That bringing in Taylor Gabriel, I mean, that was the difference maker.
A guy that came from the Browns. Nobody knew who that was. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I was mad.
Matt would throw those screens to him, and he would just dart down the field. I mean, why can't we have that now? Why can't someone?
They ran the screen. They ran the screen too many times this year, so defenses know when to expect it.
Well, that's true, but
Carlin Bunch in the chat, man. He says, "Yo, what up, Pitts and Kirk? Shit, got go and Zach Robinson. Good lord, Kirk, not the Kirk Ritter in the chat. Robert, go ahead, brother. What was you saying?
I was done.
Atlanta Falcons fandemic is in the chat. What it said. With the way we are playing and what Tampa has left, it seems we'll finish number 2 in the NFC South. When you look at the schedule, when you look at the strength of the schedule, that could be an issue. I mean, that's something that could very well happen.
I mean, I am not gonna lie to you. They went in overtime with the Panthers. We still don't know what they got going left either. They got the Raiders. They still got the Chargers. I mean, just because we played a tough game, which we should have won it, doesn't mean they're going to play similar to what we did or, vice versa. We just have to see. They do got the Cowboys. The Cowboys just beat, Washington of all teams during Thanksgiving week. I mean, which is up there in the playoffs as well, Then they got Carolina again.
Yep.
Who knows? Carolina might pull that one out. We don't know.
Yep.
And then they got, lastly, the Saints, another divisional game. New Orleans. I hate you.
No, don't you say it.
Help us out.
we may need it. We may need it.
Yeah. Guess what? I will not be saying that, though, because guess what? We still have.
3 Dirty is in the chat with it. He said, what kind of blocking he did for Ray? No effort. No effort at all. And that's what Cody just spoke about, man.
It was awful, bro.
It was bad.
Because said it was a touchdown, bro.
Yeah, I did too. And that was the touchdown that wins you the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a touchdown that ends the game because the defense was solid.
Well, that was a great catch by Ray because it could have been. It was just that one was kind of whiffed too, but Ray pulled it out, and it was a great catch.
That could have been an interception. That was close. That had me grasping my seat, and then the way Ray just climbed the tightrope.
He snatched it and then took off with it.
Yeah, that was.
But again,
that's a player that wants it.
Yeah, but see, again, that comes down to Kyle Pitts' horseshit effort. Because that does win us the game. That touchdown wins us the game. If Kyle Pitts turns around and blocks. But again, that's
this comment here. You guys remember when the pass rush situation was going around and nobody wanted to trade Kyle Pitts because he had those 80-yard games? Because that's what keeps you in Atlanta. That's why you didn't trade Pitts for that pass rusher. But I guarantee you, if Pitts didn't have those breakout games and he's performing the way he performed the last 3 weeks, Pitts would have been traded. Absolutely.
He can go back with Arthur Smith.
Shit. I don't even want to talk about that team. I don't even want to talk about fuck that team. Just like Algier breaks one can, we now barely see him get the rock. 8 touches, 16 yards. No play design. You bring him in. You bring him in. You don't bring him in enough. That's the problem. You don't run a 2-back set because they know when Algier's on the field, he's fucking running the ball.
Right.
No. That's the issue with the situation. And Cody, you brought it up before the podcast.
Yep.
And I noticed it during the game. I'm
convinced.
Freaking excited about it, and then it didn't happen again.
I'm convinced Zach Robinson hates Tyler Algier, bro.
He doesn't. No, it doesn't. It isn't that he hates him. It's that he doesn't know. He does not know how to use two running backs.
It pisses me off because this guy is a 1K rusher, dude. He can do this somewhere else and start.
Absolutely.
And you have two people that is one that was close to 1,000-yard rusher that is just beyond crazy. You know, he's doing things this year that he didn't do last year as a rookie. Like, he's learning from Algier. Algier is learning from Bijan. Yeah. Play them both. Watch Detroit, man. Well, that's how you run a two-back system, and that's how you do it comfortably and well.
Right. Well, and that was the thing, like, you know, like you said, Chase, that we were talking about before the show. I was so excited. Like, I damn near fell out of my chair at Mercedes-Benz Stadium Sunday when I saw Tyler and Bijan on the field at the same time. I'm going, oh, my God, Zach Robinson watches our show because we've been calling for this. And they did it once.
And it didn't really – it was –
And then it went away. It's just like – you know, it's just like you've got this two-headed monster in the backfield and you are finding ways to not have them both out there, and I don't get it.
I feel like Zach Robinson gets too caught up in how great of a player Bijan is. Because I don't want to say I never want to say you feed Bijan too much because of the light just got bright. I never want to say you feed Bijan too much just because of the factor that Bijan can be. And let's be for real, he's probably your best athlete on that offense. He's probably your best player. We could all agree on that.
Yep.
Philip?
Yeah.
I don't think Philip agrees on that.
Why wouldn't I agree with that?
He was just looking crazy. But, all right, so we all agree on it. Bijan's probably your best player, and that's why I feel like Zach Robinson gets too caught up in what he has for talent-wise because let's be honest, dude, there was a drive where you ran the ball.
That or he's
Bijan.
Or he's overthinking it way too much.
Yeah.
Well, and that could be it, but I agree. Bijan is definitely our best player on offense. But there are times where we're watching the game. Again, none of us have coached in the NFL. None of us have coached at a collegiate level. None of us have probably even coached at a high school level. But when we're all watching and we're all saying the same thing, and like I said in my text, I was like, why isn't Tyler out on the field? And of course, Bijan, gets in for the thing. I was like, okay, I guess that's why you put in Bijan. But here's the thing. We're seeing him get tired. And I know
you see
Bijan,
it, dude. He is gassed.
Yes. And
after touchdown, Cody, I don't know if you've seen it at the game, but he hits the bench and he immediately puts the oxygen tank on. Yep. I mean,
yeah. And so, I know he's a fantastic back, but here's the problem. And this is why, running backs don't last that long. You're going to run him into the ground and you're going to cut his career short. And it's so stupid when you have got Tyler Algier. You have got to get him involved more. Yes, it was nice to see him touch the ball 8 times, but that is still 8 times too less, or too few. And when you're watching Bijan get gassed, it's like, but this is where Robinson works himself into a corner because, like you said, as soon as you see Tyler Algier on the field, it's pass, load the box. Mm-hmm. And it showed on Sunday because every time Tyler was out there, except for one play that I can think, he touched the rock and he ran it. There was only one time he was at the back that I saw that it was thrown instead of Tyler touching the ball. You cannot run Bijan into the ground. Yes, he's a great athlete. Yes, I'm sure he's got, the stamina of a horse.
Cody, correct me if I'm wrong, but that one pass goes to Tyler on that play, correct?
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it does.
So where the ball's going when Tyler touches
it's going to him. And it's so you've got to quit working yourself into a corner, Zach. And this is the thing. Once you figure out, hey, I can have Bijan and Tyler on the field at the same time. And you know what? If you've got to hand it off, Bijan, and then Tyler, whatever. But you've got to do something that shows other teams, hey, we can put both these guys on the field. Even if you put Bijan
ruin a defense,
put Bijan out in the slot. Well, Tyler's there. And if people start going, okay, well, even though
Bijan's out. Bijan's out here. Bijan's
exactly.
out here.
I mean, you can do so many things to confuse them. So do that and give Tyler the ball 3 times. But then the next time when you've got Tyler out there and they go, oh shit, here comes Tyler, even though they got Bijan out here. Hit Bijan for one of these little slant routes and let him do work. And then they're going, well, shit, what do we do now? Because obviously Tyler's in there and they've been giving it to him, but now we just got burned by Bijan out here. Or hell, Tyler's even got hands. We've seen Tyler catch balls. Let him catch the ball more. Or you've got to figure out something to where you're not going. Tyler's out there. Yeah. They're running the rock.
Go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need Zach to go back and watch 2016 and 17 how you did it with Coleman and Freeman.
Yep.
Exactly how you explained it is exactly how it was done.
And they did it fabulous. Real quick, shout out to Chrissy Lewis over on YouTube. She says, hey, y'all. What's up, Miss Chrissy? Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the comment. Philip, go ahead, bro.
But 2016, you had two of the best backs you had at the time was probably the best running back duo at the time. And it played a big part in your offense. I remember a lot of passes, Matt, to Coleman or even Freeman. Even when Freeman wasn't being handed off, it was Coleman. It was just back and forth. You didn't know who got the ball. It was even mixed with the receivers. Even some of the receivers was taking jet sweeps or certain things.
Here's a really good comparison right here. Freeman and Ito Smith. You remember that duo?
Mm-hmm.
That was a freaking duo here in Atlanta, man. I love me some Ito Smith. Shout out to Ito Smith. Good comment there from Chrissy Lewis. I want to get through all these comments, man, but the chat is popping off, and I appreciate everybody that's in here. I'm trying to hit all the new faces. Falcon Fan Nimit says we can do another podcast on Kyle Pitts and his lazy attitude. Right. Pitts is the Pitts. Chrissy Lewis says
I didn't draft his ass for fantasy football this year.
Chrissy Lewis says, but Pitts was open a lot this game. Kirk didn't see him. She says Kirk had tunnel vision to Drake, who made 9 catches of 16 attempts. You're absolutely correct on that. That's absolutely right.
And 2 of them picks were being forced to Drake.
To Drake. Yeah.
And to me, a lot of them plays, Drake played great. He dropped that one pass that could have, won us the game possibly, but it's not solely on him.
But again, what do you want Kirk to do when Kyle's quitting on routes and he's open and you're not sure if he's going to run the fucking route? I'm not throwing it to a guy who's going to quit running his route.
Listen, I knew Kyle Pitts had an attitude problem or a didn't want to be an Atlanta problem when Kyle Pitts had to come out and address the media before the season and say that he had to tell Kyle Pitts that he needs to run fast and stand tall. He's a tight end in the NFL that's 6'6". He should know this. This is not something a veteran quarterback should have to tell a tight end that's been in the league for 3 years. That tells you that Kirk Cousins came to the squad and automatically knew Kyle Pitts could be more, but he's not giving it his 100%. Like, he automatically walked onto the squad knowing this. That's crazy. Crazy. Dave Farrell in chat says 2 running back using the I formation gives options out the ass. Absolutely. Christy Lewis says the Atlanta Bird game just did a play-by-play breakdown. You'd be amazed at the number of times Pitts was actually open. Christy, that's a good comment. I'm gonna check them out. I'm gonna check down that play-by-play breakdown. That's cool content from Atlanta Bird game there. She says, gonna get Robinson hurt. Absolutely. You're running way too much in situations to where it's clearly
it's gonna be another Todd Gurley. To be honest with you, running Bijan.
Some of those hits Bijan takes, the way he takes some of those hits and then gets up right after, I'm like, dude, this kid's a rock.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Rams overusing Todd Gurley. This is the same situation. You got another guy back there, but you're overusing the one that's talented. We know he's talented.
They did. The Rams did the same thing with Steven Jackson, and then after he was broken down, we wind up with him. And you guys saw how that went.
Well, that's a scary thing too, because it's a good comparison by Philip, about what the Rams did to Todd Gurley. But how much bigger is Todd Gurley than Bijan Robinson?
Exactly.
I'm not taking anything away from Bijan's toughness, but NFL hits take minutes off your life. And definitely take time out of your career. You can't run him into the ground. Like, Bijan's probably one of the toughest motherfuckers that I've ever seen.
I mean, he touched the back of his head with his toes.
Yeah, and I've seen him get hit. I'm going, fuck, he's not getting up, and he bounces right up, and I'm like, holy shit, this kid's tough.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just you've got to protect him even from himself, because I'm sure, you know, no one, I don't know Bijan, but I know that he's a competitor. We all know he's a competitor, and I'm sure he's going to the sideline going, I'm good, coach. Put me back out there. I got one more in me. And that's when you've got to be like, okay, get Tyler now. We need Tyler in here. But again,
and when I say we overuse Bijan, that this right here, this topic is what I'm saying. I don't want him to that point where he's ended up too beaten up, broken down.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
because
I'm gonna be on another good representation, smaller back. Christian McCaffrey. He was getting beat up in Carolina.
Yep.
Bruises all over his body every time I seen it on his Instagram.
Now he's officially out for the season.
Yep.
And now over in San Francisco,
carrying the load.
Still carrying the load. I don't want that on a great guy like Bijan that is just good and out on the field and off the field. You don't want to see it happen to anybody really, but for us but mainly, you know what I mean?
Well, and it's not even over the span of his career, guys. Think about once you get into the once we get in the playoffs, I'm gonna put it out there. Once we get in the playoffs, you're gonna need Bijan. And Bijan has yet to get into the playoffs as the Falcons haven't in 5 years, but that's more games. And now you're playing better teams that hit harder, that are more physical, because the bigger, faster, more physical teams are the ones in the playoffs. And now you've used Bijan all throughout the regular season, which I understand because he is such a dynamic back, but you need him for the playoffs too. That's why you've got to let Tyler shoulder some of this load, and in a lot greater fashion than what we're doing, because you are going to need him in January. You're going to need him in February, and you're damn sure going to need him when the Super Bowl comes around and we're in it. You're going to have and I understand that nobody in the NFL is ever 100% healthy, past week 3, but you're going to need a Bijan at least at a 75% going into the playoffs, going into the deep in the playoffs and into the Super Bowl if we get there. And you're just not going to do that running him into the ground the way that you are.
Yep. Christy here in the chat, she says, but Pitts had been successful in previous games when Kirk saw him. Rewatched the game, Kirk never saw him. And this is a very true comment from Christy, because there was a lot of times, and I even talked about it with my brother-in-law that was over watching the game. There was a lot of times I felt like the Mooney interception where Mooney goes on the flat route and he throws the interception for the pick six. Kirk stared him down from the start, bro. And then even with the Ray McCloud pass, he stared him down. It could have been picked off. It should have been, but it wasn't. Thank God. But I mean, it's just like it makes 100% true of what her comment says here. Kirk never saw him because he's not scanning the field. I don't know if that was a mental thing, knowing that he's facing the Chargers that had the most pressured quarterback sacks this season, or most pressure rate on a quarterback. But I would say O-line did pretty well for Kirk Cousins. 0 sacks given. He did have some pressures, but there was a lot of times Kirk Cousins had time in the pocket to make a pass against a really good defense. So, Christy, good comment once again. Atlanta Falcons fan Demi in the chat says Kirk has lost confidence in Kyle. There must be a reason. There's got to be
because he's lazy. Because he's lazy and quits.
Yep. Mateo in the chat says, whenever y'all want me on to talk Falcon football, I'm ready. Hashtag DFU. Mateo, invitation is always open, brother. We're always down for special guests here on the podcast. Next live, I'll drop the link. Whoever wants to join can come on and talk Falcon football. I should have done it tonight, but I knew we had a lot to talk about. So, and we're rounding up on 1 hour, and my wife's kind of busy right now. So, Mateo, next podcast, I got you, brother. Next podcast. Real quick, he says, Atlanta Falcons Fundament says, man, at this point, Trey Pitts for whatever. Says Kirk's point shaving, ? Shit. Fans, hit that like button, leave a comment, and if you're on Facebook, head over to YouTube, type in DFU_ATL, hit that subscribe button. We on the road to 1K. We're at 455, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button. New guy in the comment section here says, we got to manage the clock to keep the defense off the field. When fresh, the defense can cause havoc. Perfect comment, because you've seen it Sunday on the field. Five sacks. Hold up. Let me bring the stats up. I got a screenshot here. A whole all around the table personal best by this Atlanta Falcons defense. I mean, only allowed 56 rushing yards, only allowed 131 receiving yards, 187 net yards altogether, all season best. Gave up 0 touchdowns Sunday against one of the league's best young quarterbacks in the NFL, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Great comment from Tony Primetime Dunn. Shout out to Tony. Mateo in the chat says, this Minnesota game says a whole lot if we are playoff bound and staying first.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely. Before we get up out of here and we say our shout outs, Cody, Phillip, Robert, is there anything else that we need to get off our chest about these Atlanta Falcons?
No, man. I would say that's about it. Kirk, I still got my Kirk Cousins jersey. I'll continue to wear it. I'm with him till the wheels fall off. And if like Mateo said, if this Sunday is going to tell us a lot, I still believe Kirk could get it done. But Kyle Pitts, wake the fuck up, dude. I don't like calling guys out. I didn't like calling out AJ, but I'm calling your ass out this week. Wake the fuck up, because if not, get the fuck out of Atlanta.
Yep.
I agree. Phillip, anything we need to get off our chest before we give our shout outs?
I'm good.
Mr. Robert?
Yeah, I just want to, just got to mention Zach Robinson's play calling. Yeah, I know that, he's a first-time coordinator and all that, but why on earth, twice in one game, do you run a jet sweep with 1 yard? Now, I thought we'd seen the last of that when Steve Sarkisian packed his bags and got out of Atlanta. That is mental instability at its finest.
Yes, sir.
That is the equivalent of having the IQ of a glass of watered-down Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And, and I'm with you, Cody. I don't like to call out the team. I don't like to call out the coaches. I don't like to call out the players. But, we as fans, it's all right to do so. Jimmy Lake got it together this week. Zach, when are you going to get it together, buddy?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. We're supposed to have a high-flying offense. Do something about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing that we need to address too is the last 3 games. I think the most we scored 20 in New Orleans. That is the highest that we 20, 23, whatever it was. That's unexcusable. This team should not finish with less than 28 points every game. I said before this season started that this team was capable of scoring 30, 35 points a game, and they've gone out and shown that they can. So for them, the last 3 weeks to 20 to put up a little over or right at about 40 points for the last 3 weeks is disgusting, and it needs to be fixed.
We've scored 36 points total in the last 3 games. That's an average of 12 points per game.
Yeah, and that's unacceptable. That's Desmond Ridder bullshit.
Exactly.
Alvin in the chat before we get up out of here says, imagine Penix with Bijan and Algier in a triple option. Shit. Lee don't know how to stop him. Mateo in the chat says, great podcast, fellas. Shout out to our Dirty Birds. Do y'all want it or not? Time to wake up and prove it. Tired of this toxic relationship, LOL. Hashtag DFU. Shout out to you, Mateo. Glad to have you here in the chat, brother. We got you next podcast, homie. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell if you want to see when DFU goes live or we drop content, because we do it daily, baby. Falcon fans, you are listening to Dirty Fanatics United, episode 113. We are getting ready to get up out of here. Cody, give me your shout-outs. Phillip, you next, and then we'll close it out with Robert.
Yeah, man, shout out to you guys coming on and talking Dirty Bird football. I mean, this is so much more fun when we're winning. Man, remember a couple of weeks ago when you couldn't shut us up, man.
I wore a cowboy hat, man.
I was going to say, remember the cowboy hat with Phillip and the broom and God, that feels like an eternity ago. But you know what? I've been doing this Falcon thing since I was 5 years old back in '95, and
absolutely,
if any fan base can get through it and can weather through it, it's this fan base, because we're used to bullshit and we're used to. Anymore, man. I would say it's hard. I would say it is definitely, like Mateo said, this toxic relationship. But you know what? I love my birds, and I'll continue to bleed red and black till the day I die. I would say,
absolutely,
and it is what it is, and we're gonna be okay though. That's the thing. We're gonna be okay. Go steal a game for Minnesota. Go steal a game, from wherever you got to go get it.
Go beat Washington against Washington. The world.
Yeah, I would say that's just it. Go handle your business. Go steal a game from Washington, steal one from Minnesota. I don't care where you get it, or take both of them and then win the rest of your games. And we're okay. We're okay. Just handle your business. At the end of the day, yes, where we're at right now, it sucks. But we are still in control. We are still in control of the South. We're still in control of our destiny. So just go finish it, boys. I'm behind y'all 100%. But, like I said, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody that, has watched. It's been great to see the comment section absolutely, on fire tonight. That's why we do this is, to interact with other Falcon fans, other Falcon fans that love this team, that bleed the red and black with us. It's great to see. So, you guys keep doing it. We keep dropping Falcon content. We're going to keep bringing it to you. We're going to keep, being honest, but fair to this team. Guys, there's not a group of other Falcon fans, than the four of us that can be harsh and not negative, but harsh and realistic and bring the truth, but at the same time do it in a positive manner. And I wish more Falcon fans were like the four of us, because all I see is, the team's trash, burn it all down, burn Mercedes-Benz down. And we don't need that kind of energy, man. I would say, because so just, we're in this together. We've been through worse. We can go ahead. We've got this. So shout out to all the Falcon fans that are on here that are still showing the Falcons love. Keep showing up to games. Keep, hell, I'm probably going to get on, they're having their Cyber Monday shit, so I'm sure I'm going to wind up with something. But other than that, guys, shout out to y'all for coming on and doing this. Shout out to everybody, like, comment. Shout out to my beautiful wife, who I'm sure misses me now that I've been gone for an hour. So, but shout out to her for letting me do this too, because I'm sure she's tired of hearing me talk about it.
Oh yeah, mine's tired of hearing me rant and rave about the damn Falcons.
She definitely loves it a lot more when they win, because the Falcons win. She's got a happy husband. Happy husband means happy household.
Yes, sir.
I was definitely in a bad mood putting up the Christmas tree yesterday. So, I was ready to throw it outside. And everything. But other than that, guys, rise up.
Shit.
I love the froze right there. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Damn, somebody take a picture of that, screenshot it.
Yeah, the way his arm is, it's like Kirk putting up one of them lame ducks,
That's about what it looked like.
Chase, I don't know if you heard me, buddy, but I'm just joking.
I guess it's you, Philip.
Yeah, go ahead, Philip.
Man, where do we start? I'm blessed to be here another day. Thank God for another day. We're going to get through it. It's been a tough three games, but we're going to be all right. It's going to be a big matchup coming in Sunday, but I believe wholeheartedly that this team that we're playing is a little wishy-washy. And I know we can come out with this game with a win.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ride behind Kirk. We're a big part of.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
we
we
can
can.
hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We're a big part of what comes out on Sunday, so I'm going to ride with them. I'm gonna be the reason the team's hyped up, man.
We back.
But thanks. I don't even know where I was at, man. I'm laughed at this photo, so it threw me off. But shout out to them Pirates, man. We moved up to the Final Four. We have to travel Pierce County. It's all because of you. You sorry sucker. Yeah, screw y'all. Y'all just was scared to play us again. I know. Anyway,
I had to lose.
But we travel up to Atlanta. This is a perfect time to win. We win, then we possibly get to stay in Atlanta. I'm gonna be in my home. So you know what I mean. So we gotta pull out that win. Shout out to them, get this W. Shout out to the Dogs. They finally beat Tech in 8 overtimes. Yeah, that's another time. But now you got a big battle up against you, because you got to beat a team that you already beat before, and it's hard to beat a team twice. You can do it. Like I said, I need a 3 for 3, so shout out to y'all too. If y'all don't win, I'm still okay. Still okay. Either way, I just need that Friday and Saturday night win. So shout out to my Pirates and my Birds. As always, rise up, baby. let's move on, man. Let's get these negativity out. Let's be positive. You feel me?
Absolutely. Robert, glad to have you tonight, brother. I know you had to work late. We moved the podcast back just so Robert could come on here and express his feelings about these Atlanta Falcons. Dave Farrell in the chat. He says, great chat. Rise up. A Falcons till death. Just need the W's at all costs. Robert, take it away, brother. Shout outs for tonight.
Shout out to God in heaven for blessing us with another day. Lord, if you're hearing us right now, just give us a little edge here, just help us out,
Help us out a little bit.
But shout out to you guys for letting me be a part of this. It's an honor and a privilege to be here on the show with you guys. We keep it real here. I mean, we're raw, we're unfiltered. We're going to tell it like it is for the good or the bad. And of course, even though we've called out a few people tonight, shout out to the team. We're still behind you no matter what, even though you
pissed me off.
You just stick the dagger in our hearts and turn it. But, we're still with you. And as always, shout out to my family, Brianna, Peyton, Zach, Christy. Love you all. And rise up.
Rise up, man.
And before we go, I want to say, speaking of Christy, she's been on days when the games aren't local. She doesn't even watch football. She could care less about it. But she's been going with me to watch the games and being patient. And she's picking it up a little bit. So maybe I'll convert her one of these days.
Before you know it, Robert, she's gonna be calling out plays and flags before
she's gonna be saying that's a damn penalty.
Because I've already did it to my wife. My wife knew zero about football, and now she's a diehard Falcon fan sitting in the other room. So yeah, man, convert her into the Falcon, as I know you will. Falcon fans,
I'm working on it.
DFU has brought you episode 113. The title of tonight's show was Kirk who? ? Falcon falls to 6-6. Falcon fans, shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, man. Chat went stupid, and I couldn't thank you guys anymore for what you do here for the channel. 2 new subscribers tonight. Shout out to those guys that subscribe. We appreciate y'all. Real quick, shout out to the 4 likes over on Facebook: Sam, Chris, Tony Lee Dunn, Brandon Keeler, and Nick Bungalow. Shout out to you guys for hitting that like button. Whoever liked over on YouTube, it doesn't show me your guys' names, but I appreciate you guys as well for hitting that like button.
Shout out to the new people that's in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to see different people in the chat and commenting. Like you've been here for a while, actually. I like interactions like that. So shout out to y'all.
Yes, sir. Shout out to all my co-hosts, man. Couldn't do the show without you guys. I appreciate y'all coming through tonight, doing the podcast. It was a tough one. I knew it was going to be rough, but we made it through because we are diehard Falcon fans over at DFU. Falcon fans, like I said, this has been episode 113, man. And before I close this out, I want to say, as I've said the last month, if anybody knows a family in need, nobody has messaged me yet, man. So don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed, because I'm going to make sure all proceeds are good before we do anything. But if there is any family in need this Christmas holiday, DFU would love to sponsor a kid's Christmas, a kid's supper, anything to support a kid and his family. DFU wants to start this new tradition every Christmas, sponsor a kid for Christmas. It's one kid. It can't be that bad. I mean, everybody can afford to take a little bit of money out of their pocket and support a family in need in this time, because I mean, it's Christmas, guys. Everybody deserves to have a good Christmas. So hit the inbox up, man.
Especially,
don't let me.
Especially children. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So don't miss out on this opportunity, man. It's not something that DFU wants to use as bragging rights, but it's just something that DFU wants to do yearly,
just to be
for a good cause. Just for a good cause, man. Falcon fans, once again, we appreciate all y'all, man. All the new subs, all the comments, the likes. We appreciate y'all. It's been episode 113, man. Episode 113. We're climbing up there, boys. We're getting there, almost at 200. Falcon fans, much love to you guys. Much love to the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to get it right. We're going to get back on track. Kirk Cousins, we still believe in you, baby. Just get it right. Go through what you're going through, but get it right, because we got games to win, babe. And there's a quarterback right behind you that's got talent and has shown it in college. So I'm just saying, the ice is getting thin, Kirk Cousins. Falcon fans, we appreciate y'all, man. Dirty Fanatics United is up out of here, man. A-Town down. Rise up. We love y'all. We out.